you won't be surprised.
Okay. He thinks you're going to say something.
No.
You're alive.
Are you, everybody? Anybody out there? Can you please put a little message in the chat to show us you're there? Big congratulations to Henry and Sarah today, who got married. Big shout out to them.
Congratulations. Sorry couldn't be there, guys.
I know you're probably not listening and you've probably got other things to do, but hey ho.
Yeah,
you can watch it on the replay.
The celebrations are going mad, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it is. But yeah, just let us know you're there. If anybody's out there, can you let me know you can hear our lovely voices and see our beautiful faces.
Can't be far there, mate.
Yeah, but I've got to push it on. It's Journey Through the Unexplained, Paul.
It is.
What lies underneath? I started to watch some of the old X-Files today because they're all on Prime.
Oh, right.
How you playing, Spotty? I'll tell you,
I used to love that
program was well advanced of its years.
Oh, there's so much of it that still makes sense now, or you make more sense of it now. Yeah, they knew what they were talking about. Yeah. Be interesting to look into who wrote that, actually. Because they obviously had some inside information. Yeah, actually it would. That's a good point. Because, I watched it, I think, from the start, and, you know, he looks about 18. Yeah. Pair of them, very young, wouldn't they? Yeah. Oh, well, I'd like to do that. You know, I'd love to do a run of them again. Because even the films that they made, they were pretty good as well. Yeah, actually, it was a couple of good films on there, weren't there? Yeah. Who wrote the X-Files?
Hello. Right. Plane Spotting UK. Hello there. Hello. Right. Are we ready?
Oh, God, we're always ready.
To be fair, I can only play one opening theme tune at the moment because I can't find out.
Bless you.
I can't find our Essex Ghost Hunters one anywhere. So it's only going to be this one. So hold tight.
Funny, we've just been talking about it.
It's now time for you to sit back in your chair and relax. Let your mind unwind into the deepest, darkest parts of your brain. And let Russ take you on a journey through the unexplained.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to Journey Through the Unexplained and the EGH Paranormal Talk Show live and exclusive. Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching, you're just here tonight with our ugly mugs to join you through the next hour and a half of whatever we are going to talk about. Well, I think we're live anyway. Everything seems all right. I think people can hear me. The thing is, I don't get the little bar anymore that used to tell me if people can hear me. I can only get it on this one, but that's just reading my microphone and your microphones, which is annoying. But hey ho, hopefully people can hear us. If you can hear us, say hello in the chat. If you can hear us, let us know in the chat. Good evening, Mr. Paranormal Paul, and good evening, Mr. Psychic Si. How are we doing tonight?
All good, mate. All good.
Yeah,
all okay.
Very well.
Good. Well, it was actually, I just want to go back to last week's show because I found it really quite interesting last week's show. And how it was really, really good. So hopefully we can get another show like that.
I have got the question that you told me to keep. No, I've got the question you told me to keep. Remember? End of the show. Yep. I raised the question. So I've got that.
And that is what we'll start off with. But I got to say, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Paranormal Paul, like I do every week, how you been, sir?
I've been Fine and dandy, me, mate. Fine and dandy, yes. No, I've been a bit under the weather this week. I'll be quite honest. To be fair, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the show, because the wife has started showing symptoms of the same cold that I've got. So I thought I'd better scarp her upstairs because I'm getting the blame for it. But no, I've been a little bit under the weather this week, mate, but I feel a lot better than what I did.
That's the main thing. I'm glad you're feeling better, Mr. Paranormal Paul. Yes. And Mr. Psychic Si, how have you been this week?
Very annoyed. Very annoyed with some total paranormal arseholes out there. Real stupid arseholes, right? I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to say the F word, and I'm not going to swear at it, and I'm not going to say the phrase, but there's people now to stop us in this world trying to get on. And we are only a little company, and we're a little fish in a great big pond out there. And I think the paranormal world and the paranormal events hold enough out there for many, many groups to operate without resorting to awful tactics of trademarking slogans, phrases. Never knew it could be done before, but there's arseholes worked out they can. So we're sitting there the other night and we get an email to say, blah, blah, blah. If you don't remove this phrase, I think I can say the phrase. I think I'm quite safe to say the phrase, because I think probably a load of people have always used it in our industry, in a lot of events industry. The phrase that they're trademarked is, "Are you brave enough?" How can you be allowed to trademark? It's true. It's true. And we can get done for it. So we got an email, and I tell you, it didn't only upset me. I think it sent a wave through the team, because it upset Sandra, it upset Kim, it upset Russ, because there we were. We had to go back all over the websites. We had to check everything to get rid of this phrase. Are you brave enough? So, really? Yeah. So now if we're going to put on, but don't get me wrong. I think the phrase we are going to use in the future, which we might get trademarked, so that arsehole can't come back, is far better than "Are you brave enough?" I think it sounds better, and I think it's better to put against Essex Ghost Hunters.
How can you trademark a sentence like that?
But that's my whole point to it. That's my whole point to it. I don't necessarily feel I hold a grudge against the paranormal world for that. I actually hold a grudge against something that me and I
don't hold a grudge against the paranormal world, but when you're trying to create paranormal unity, like a lot of groups are, and I see people coming to us. No, I do see people coming to us, like good groups that we've worked with, that we know that.
Yeah, but
and that's what it's all about. And it's not. Yeah,
they love to throw that word about. It's bollocks. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't say it before. It's crap. Para-unity doesn't exist. It's never existed.
I know, but it could. It could. And I think there is a way to beat it. I do think there's a way to beat it. And I'm going to find out about it. I think it'll cost a lot of money to beat it. But if you get enough paranormal groups, because who doesn't use "Are you brave enough"? Come on, in the paranormal world, in the events world, who does not use "Are you brave enough"?
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that my anger isn't towards that said person. My anger is towards the government.
In 2 days' time, but in 2 days' time, that arsehole could come back and say, "You ain't cleaned down all your websites. You need to do this, or you're going to face a £2,000 fine, Russ." That's what we could get, because we got to the 26th of July.
But that's not my issue. I don't hold my anger isn't towards that said company, and I have to admit.
If that said company, right, give us a £2,000 fine and put us out of business, then you're not going to be angry towards that company, because I bloody well am.
No, I'm not. I'm going to be angry against the establishment that has allowed them to trademark.
The government, £270 a pop, but you're not going to get over the government.
And me and Paul have spoke about the government's tactics for a long, long time, and it fits within the Journey Through the Unexplained show more than it does the Essex Ghost Hunters. But that's what I'm saying. My anger and frustration does not, and I generally, you know, taglines and whatever you choose to use, that's your, you know, if you, that's what you've had with your company for years and you feel like you need to trademark that, then you know what, mate, you go feel free.
We've had it as long as them. And there's other people. We've had it as long as them, and there's other companies that probably had it longer.
Yeah, but there's not. But it's not it's not a tagline that I use that often.
No, it's not. No. It's not exactly a catchphrase, is it? It's just it's a bit petty, isn't it?
But my anger is 100% towards the government. 100%.
Well, mine varies a little bit to yours, and it always will. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see if we can't get through it. We'll see.
Have you checked to make sure that's kosher? That it is actually trademarked?
100%. It's gone through lawyers. Yeah, 100%.
My God, that's
200. It costs 270 quid. So, for example, and it's only been done recently. So this is what's worrying me. Is it going to be, say, we use another catchphrase or a phrase to our events? Are they going to trademark that? Are they going to trademark what's on other people's websites? But
can you trademark it if someone's been using it for years?
Yes, we've been using it for years.
People will just trademark sentences left, right, and centre and then try and earn money out of it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point to the government: is they're allowing this to. They're allowing
the Information Commissioner's Office, CICR.
That is exactly where it should stop. They shouldn't give the benefit of the doubt to that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, but that's my rant for this week. That is my big rant for this week, and it really has peeved me off because I think it's awful. You know, but I think there is a way of fighting it if you get enough of you together, and we can actually get.
I'm not being funny. Does this include films and movies and things like that? Because they use that in their advertisements all the time.
I don't think it. You can.
Well, if it's a paranormal film, then yeah.
No, it might be, because it could be.
Film. If it's a paranormal film, then it has to be associated with that. I also think it has anything of a horror film vibe to it or a haunted establishment to it, then I should think he had to the trademark stamp to that. So, for example, if the haunted house at Butlins said, "Are you brave enough to go through it?" I'm pretty sure that he's got them banged to rights if it's a haunted house.
Good luck taking into court.
I've never heard of it before, Paul.
I suppose it's no different to people just trying to catch a few quid here and there. You know, look at the bloke for years and years who did bnq.com. It doesn't exist. He will not sell it to www.bnq.com. It's if you go to the B&Q website, it's www.diy.com because some bloke holds it. You know, and he will not let it go. I think Marks and Spencer's had the same issue years and years and years ago, but they obviously, you know, haven't really got anything else to sort of coincide with it. So they bought it off the bloke or the woman for billions probably, but B&Q bloke won't have none of it. He's kept onto it.
But I think if this bloke keeps going, or this company keep going with this sort of approach, then I think there is a way to counteract it, but you'd need a group of paranormal companies to join up, because if you've got enough people proving that they can certainly use that statement or another statement that he'd like to now put his trademark against, and we've been using it for a long time, then you can appeal it. But I think then you're talking corporate law, so it's obviously corporate money. So
that's just ridiculous, isn't it?
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But anyway,
that's just the crazy world we live in. That is just the crazy, crazy world that we live in. Unfortunately, it's
if they're listening, I think we've taken them all off and we've tried our very best and to the best of our abilities and our knowledge. There should be none of that. I left on our website or platforms anyway.
Yeah, so there's going to be, I don't necessarily know what the actual trademark and how, the physicality of it absolutely hits. I really don't. I generally don't know how and what the remit it fits in. Is it a display? Is it spoken? Is it whatever? Who knows?
See how they can make people take it down if
they can't stop you saying it. No, they can't stop you saying it. No.
But can they stop you saying it in a sense of promotional?
No, I wouldn't have thought so because it's not written. You're not writing it. It's got to be written.
Right, let's make some adverts up then. You're brave enough.
Well, that's it. It's exactly that. But that's why I don't necessarily feel that.
I think our new one's better. Do you have the bollocks? No, that's just a joke.
Okay, we're a company that don't use taglines.
Nah,
we've never.
No,
we generally.
If they feel they need to trademark that to make themselves feel special, then you crack on.
But if you are thinking of writing it down and advertising, you can check it on the government website to see if it's a trademark. That's the way we've got to go. So if the new slogan that we've come up with, I've had to check on the government website that it's not listed, so we can use it.
So then, if someone trademarks it after you've started using it, what happens there?
I think it takes a lot.
No, because we've got intent of using it. So then we could go back and probably fight it. But again, it's going to cost us a lot of money to fight. So is it not easier just to take it off?
Ridiculous.
Like we've done. But yeah,
I say I generally have to go for the jugular of where this has come from, more than at the end of the day, the bloke's done something or the woman's done something to what he feels he's need to do, but it's the powers to be that have allowed this to happen is my issue. How have they allowed a saying that is predominantly used with as probably within our field, as probably as much as in our field than anything to allow that to happen. That is my issue with it all.
Yeah.
Because they could have said, no, sorry, that's a generic saying.
Yeah, what's the matter with you? You can't trademark that, you lunatic.
Yeah. But they've obviously allowed that to happen and they've set the precedents at the end of the day. And people are going to take that. They're going to take the bullet and run with it. But that's where we are with the world. That is where we are with the world. Unfortunately, what they get away with. Right, I've got to say hello to everybody. We've got a lot of people in the comments. Marianne's in the chat. Mark is in the chat. Heidi's in the chat. Kelly's in the chat. I'll just go from Marianne. We've got Mark. We've got Heidi. We've got Kelly's in the chat. Nearly every paranormal phrase used that. Robert, as I said, it's a total joke for anyone to trademark it. Exactly that. Good evening, Helios. How are you? Trina, Helios again. Trina, what have I missed? Well, you've missed the best bit of a rant session, Helios. We've had 20 minutes of pure rantiness about trademarks and things like that. But you know what?
You can trademark a phrase, basically. That's what the rant is. You can trademark a phrase, such as "Are you brave enough?"
Yeah,
in the paranormal world, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that rant over.
Right, I'm just gonna give me a couple of seconds. Simon and Paul, you start the show. I've got a phone call coming in from the school, so I've got to ring. All right, so I'll let you carry on, and I'll be back shortly. All right,
go.
Okay, mate. Right, so I know what we were talking about last week, and I don't know how we quite got to the end of it, Paul.
No, I can't remember how we finished up. I remember him saying about the question, but I don't know if you want to say the question out now or wait till he gets back.
I'll wait till he comes back for the question, but yeah, I know we went down a few rabbit holes last week, didn't we? But and it comes to when you pass. I think it was when people were passing and near-death experiences, wasn't it? We were talking about.
Right. Yeah.
And then the woman that went up, like she died and she went up and come back, but she saw all her family, and there wasn't really, although they acknowledged, it wasn't like being with her family.
No, that's right. It wasn't seeing them as like a physical form, was it? But it was knowing it was them through their energy.
Yeah, it was like an energy, and it wasn't like they were on the earth plane. It was an energy that acknowledged them, but there was no arms around you. Like you would think if you, and I suppose that's where I was coming from. You know, when I go up there, are all the loved ones going to put my arms around me? That's not going to happen. That's what she said. That does not happen. This is the energy's there, but I suppose it's just setting you up for your next life or your next where you're going next, I suppose.
Yeah, but I think we sort of brushed across it last week as well. I mean, excuse me, no one knows 100% because there's so many conflicting stories about what happens with people with near-death experiences. Yeah, some say they're straight in heaven, some say that it's hell, some say that they're back on the earth plane, but in different sort of scenarios. There's so many different variations. No one knows for sure, and you ain't never going to
know. I don't think you know after you've been and come back.
No, but this is the other thing, you know, reincarnation and things like that. Some of the stories that have gone on about that, you know, you can't dispute it. But then is it reincarnation or
especially when it's children? You know, they're telling stories that they couldn't possibly know. And talking different languages, how does that happen?
Well, there was that one, I can't remember what country it was, wasn't it? The child kept saying she sees something on, he or she sees something on telly and saying, I know that place. I've been to that place. I lived in that place. And they took them to that place. And it showed them where they died and this and that. And she named the family members by name.
That's it. Yeah.
It was still there. And so she's saying she's got these memories. But then do you think that could also be, rather than reincarnation, because children are susceptible, you know, like psychics, they'll pick up on memories, things like this. So could there be some sort of scenario where the child's psychic ability is just sort of tapped into that one thing at a time and she can't get it out of their mind, and she picks up on every little thing that happened in that lifetime, and people are saying that's reincarnation? But what if it isn't? What if it's like an ultra sensitive mediumship type thing in a child that's managed to pick that up?
Yeah, could be.
No one knows for sure.
We just sort of recap what we did last week. We haven't put the question out there yet until you come back, but we sort of recapped on like when afterlife and coming back, and when you die, and then you actually don't see your relatives. You know their energy's there, and they acknowledge you, but they're not going to put their arms around you and things like that. That's what we were talking about. And then we just said, like, when children come on into this world and they can speak foreign languages, and as Paul's just said there, they come back and they know all the family's members. Are they tapping into psychic abilities? Mediumship? Is that
mistakenly taken as reincarnation? No, they've been here before.
Yeah. I'm going to just click on a question, but maybe an answer. This is from Trina. I worked in palliative care, and the lady who lived in England most of her life was speaking to me in German. I asked her daughter what she's saying, as she was also waving her arms like she was welcoming people. She kept holding my hand and repeating the same thing. Her daughter said she's saying the angels are coming. She passed half hour later. She was meant to have 5 months.
Well,
see, I think people again. I remember my granddad before he passed, when he was in hospital. I think my parents went up to see him, and he knew his time was coming because he said the family's waiting. He could see past family members in the room with the ward he was in. He said they've come to collect me, and I don't think it was that long after that he passed. So I think there is. I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's quite weird. I think it's
really. Yeah, I think it is weird. But
I find it very strange.
These children that come out speaking like there, but the children that are born speaking foreign languages, and the parents couldn't possibly do it. When you see their parents, they're like me and you. I wouldn't know how to speak like German or Austrian. It just ain't gonna happen. But they're speaking it fluently. So
there must be some sort of like, you know, spiritual cross connection of something going along them lines, or do we go along the lines of, you know, as it's a double-barreled show of paranormal and sort of conspiracy? What's to say that what we are taught and how we are made, as you know, there is obviously within the world of the conspiracy side of things that we come from sort of reptilians and things like that. So what's to say our programming doesn't glitch at some point? What's to say that, you know, when we are born with a program that says English, German? What's to say that cross contamination of how it works within the body? I know we're standing and watching, you know, we're told how that works, but there is a conspiracy side of this, the whole thing, you know.
Yeah. I kind of went down a bit of a different route with that. I kind of thought, because, you know, sometimes if some people get a bang on the head, all of a sudden they start speaking a different language, or they get a certain illness, they'll start speaking a different language, a language they've never known before. And you know, because we only use, I can't remember how much is, what is it, 10% of our brain or 20% of our brain, something like that. So if there's something that causes that brain to just tweak, it always reminds me of that film Lucy, I think it is, when she takes that drug that ends up at 100% brain capacity, where she can control matter and things like that. You know, the power of the mind and the actual brain, if you could use it all. So I kind of went down that route. What if sometimes something happens in the body, like you know, your body's function, and or if you've got a bit too much of your body's current running through it, does that tweak your brain into using a bit more, and you just know things?
Yeah.
It's hard to comprehend, isn't it? Because as I say, Trina's also, my hubby's dad was in hospital. He was talking to his brother and dad, who had passed on as well just before he passed away. I've witnessed a few things. It's always been beautiful.
Yeah.
But then, I do believe that side of things, that people come to collect.
Yeah, I do.
I do think when that spirit and soul decide, you know, obviously my spirit and soul, my belief is spirit and soul are two different things. So when they are there to decide to depart the body, you know, I do think that the spirit has to be come and collected. And I think the best way that is, you know, perceived as, you know, your loved ones there, and, you know, waiting there to see your loved ones, what more
what more beautiful and what more, what's the word I'm looking for? Nice to know that when you do go to pass, that there is loved ones there waiting for you to take that journey across, however you see it. You know, if it's, you know, as Simon said, if it is not huggy huggy, or if it is huggy huggy, if it, you know, whatever it needs to happen is, it's what is there to, you know, to be seen as. And you know, if it is someone talking German, for example, and the angels are coming, and that person, there must be a time where that brain, you know, as you say, Paul, that brain's, you know, maybe in your dying days, maybe when you're born, maybe the brain functionality is working at a higher power than it is when we get to sort of mid-range, and when we die again, it goes back, because they do say when you get older, you become more like your child state again, don't they? You know, it becomes, so maybe that brain capacity starts to open up again, and it does allow sort of speaking German, learning German, you know, in that penultimate hours before death, to come and see what is happening. That makes sense.
Yeah, it could be.
It has to be something to do with the brain waves, the brain capacity to understand what spirit is saying, how that connection becomes. Because and I take it as sort of, I think later in life, when people start getting that closer to death, they start taking on a form of religiousness. And that's never really sort of, I've always, you know, I think I've always been a sort of bit sort of, can't really work that one out. That makes sense. I think, well, you know, you've never believed in you God or anything like that, but then you turn to God at that penultimate time. You know, it's almost like a need to, you know, that your time is coming, and you need that connection with another world. Or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think sometimes.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. Yeah, I do, but I think you just learn more as you get older. I don't think it's a case that you turn to God. I
won't say God, but
think your views change. I think my view has certainly changed within the past 5-10 years. Definitely, I now believe that. Yeah, I believe quite a lot. But I didn't used to believe. I'd have said no.
But you're a spiritualist person.
Yeah.
I'm talking about non-believers who don't believe in this shit, right? Let's take Grandad, for example. Never believed in all this crap. But towards the end of his time, within his sort of last 15 years on the earth plane, he did start to go to church. He did start to believe in God, or have a want to be associated with a religious side of things. Now, that to me doesn't go hand in hand. But you've got
a nice roast dinner.
Huh?
And you got a nice roast dinner every week.
Yeah. But it's still a want to, you know.
Yes, I get it. I was just joking. Yeah.
Do you not think that sometimes it could be that, especially with non-believers, you know, it's that the closer they're getting to death is, what if there is a God? I better start, because I remember quite some years ago. I've never really been a great believer, although I got married in the church. That was more of a traditional thing rather than a religious thing. But I've never been baptized. My wife has. And I remember thinking at one point, maybe I should get baptized, because they say when you're baptized, you'll join them in the kingdom of heaven. But if you're not, you're not. So I thought, if I get baptized, then I'll be able to join up with the wife when we pass over. And that's where my head went. Not because I was religious, because I wanted to be with her in the afterlife as well. And I think sometimes people later on in life, the closer they get to their maker, they start to find religion, because they think, I'm getting closer to this now, so I might if I start taking on a bit of religion and show that I'm willing, then maybe I do make it into that. That's a theory, anyway.
No, I get it. I do get it. I generally do get it. It becomes a want, doesn't it? It becomes a want or a need. You know, I don't necessarily believe in the biblical sense of that side of things. You know, I don't necessarily, and I mean the biblical sense of it all. But I do believe there is a maker. I do believe there is an afterlife. I do believe there is good and evil. I do believe that. I don't think, but my belief is that, you know, God or the maker, well, there is no judgment over there. You go over there if you're a murderer, you go over there if you're a rapist, you go over there if you're a happy-go-lucky guy. It is what it is. There is no judgment when you go across when it comes to that. You know, but I think that's because of
I think you do have to. I think you do have to answer for what you've done on this earth plane at some point. At some point,
maybe.
At some point.
Maybe. Absolutely, maybe. But I'm not a person that can look too deep into that, because that's not my brain capacity. Doesn't, you know, because I don't. What we're taught and how we are taught, God doesn't judge. There's always second chances. Where does the second chance come? If you haven't had it on this earth plane, it will have to come somewhere else. Maybe that's where my narrative goes with that. But I don't believe in all, you know, that when we get to the biblical sense. I just think it's the Bible, as I've said in previous times, is just what the narrative of the world and wants you to believe in. You know, love thy neighbor, help this and help that. We have to have a creator. We have to have someone that has started the world. We have to have at this point of, let's be fair, the Bible's never going to come up and say, yeah, you were created by an alien species, you were made by two reptilians, you come out of a bottle, you was put together, you were like, you're a generic scientific experiment. You know, who's going to listen to that? Who's going to love that? You're a scientific experiment that's come to fruition in yesteryears. The Bible has to give. It's like a, what is it? Like a book of rules that they would love you to follow.
But why?
What do you mean?
Why? Why would they want you to follow rules? Who wants you to follow rules? Who wants you to follow rules?
Our creators, the ones that have made us, they want the rules to be followed, don't they? You think that I always find the Bible quite stringent and strict. I don't find it. I find it too much in your face with what the actual narrative is in life. Do you know what? I have, you know, everyone should be fed and watered. I think it gives everyone a purpose, and I think we go back. We've had this discussion. Me and Paul have had this discussion many times. You go back probably 50, 60 years. The world was more religious. The world was more in the zone with the Bible sense. We look at the Americans and the people from across the ponds. They're together in congregations. They all feed each other. They all give love thy neighbor and make sure everyone's fed and watered and love. If we believe in this God, we're all going to go to a happy place. We're all going to be, we're going to go to where the wings and fluffy clouds and everything. But we must believe in God for that to happen. You can't stray away from how we are told by this book to believe in. I just think it's a book that has been, and I think what we say, what was it, Paul? Is it 52 chapters have been removed from the?
I don't know if it's quite as many as that, but yeah, it's quite a few, wasn't it?
And what have they removed? Why have they removed that? What has changed in them chapters for no one to see over the times to remove the narrative from what we are learning?
But does it matter? What does it matter?
It doesn't matter. But the creators will want you to follow a path. There's rules and regulations throughout life that we live in. Why are we paying council tax? Because we're told to do it. Why does it matter? We pay poll tax. We pay all our national insurance. It's rules that come into play in time. And these were the very, and I think we're talking about very, very, very first early regulations and how we should live the best life to it.
I didn't think taxes and all that come along to a little bit later in the Bible stage. I thought it
No, but it's still a rule. No, but it's still a rule. You pay your taxes. It doesn't matter. No,
but that Bible didn't make that tax. That Bible didn't make that rule.
No, I'm not saying it did, but it's another rule that's come in over time. Rules have to start somewhere. It doesn't.
Yeah, but that's always going to happen, isn't it?
But that's what I'm saying, and I think it's what I'm saying is the Bible is the very first book of rules that people want the world to live as, and there's more that's been put in.
Well, it's not worked, is it?
No, and that's why I think the Bible is a flock of ball that says go.
So it's not worked.
No, it hasn't worked. I have to agree with that. But go back maybe 100 years, maybe go back 200 years. People were very, very religious, more religious than what the world is now. More religious. And I think what's
changed that then?
I generally don't know. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you what has changed that. I have no
changed that. So
yeah, I do. But I think the world has changed, hasn't it?
Of course.
You look at 50 years compared to now. It's changed. So there's always going to be the narrative has to change, and that's where I believe these chapters are being removed to make sure the narrative fits.
These chapters were removed ages ago. These chapters must have been removed ages ago. So they're not being removed now.
No, but maybe them chapters removed, 100 years ago, or the last ever chapter. I don't know the protocols of it, but the chapters wasn't removed all as one. They were removed as individuals.
Yeah.
So when it comes
to forget the amount of times the Bible's been rewritten as well, it's changed.
No, I'm not saying the Bible's a be all and end all because it's not being followed. It's not followed. The Bible's not followed.
But it never has been.
You give an example there of all the Americans and they live like this and they preach the Bible and all that. Look at their country. Look at the murder rate. Yeah, look at it. So the Bible's not working there either. The Bible's not working.
No,
you're saying the Bible's working. The Bible isn't working. If the Bible was working, we'd all live happily ever after. It's not.
But that's what I'm saying, because the Bible isn't a thing anymore. In the majority of the world, the Bible isn't a thing anymore. I reckon if you just take the UK alone,
probably the Quran is up.
But maybe. But if you looked at the Bible and to the UK sense of it, there would be a lesser majority now who read the Bible than there would have been,
of course,
50 years ago.
Of course, because you had Sunday school, you had this. That's all been taken away. That's all been taken away. So.
And it has been taken away. You used to do your songs of praise in your assembly in the morning and things like that. All your teachers would grab a guitar and start banging out some church music.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. That over time, it becomes less interested. It becomes not a way of life. And as Simon says, the Bible, I totally agree with what Simon said. It is not working in our day and age. But
has it ever worked? It's
not as a society. No, it has
because
never
we wouldn't have got here. If the Bible was working, we would have never got to here.
But it has worked in that sense.
Hasn't, is it? Because if the Bible was the be all and end all, was written to control this world and we were to follow the Bible, we wouldn't be at this stage where people weren't following the Bible. So it's not just not worked through the last 100 years. It's probably worked through, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's probably people like us that have changed that narrative. It's probably mediums like us connect with the dead, because you've been in a situation where you've been in a churchyard and you get frowned upon from what you are doing, because
totally agree.
Only one that can come back and has an ability to talk to you from a spirit. So we are breaking that narrative. So it's never going to be what it needs to be, because there is change.
But then it's only because. Well, then you've got to say spiritual people would change it, because Jesus rose again.
Sorry, I lost you.
Don't forget. So back in the day, don't forget, if you was hearing voices and spiritual, you was hung, burnt up as a witch and things like that. It's all a lot of all. It sounds so bad saying this. I think a lot of religions is a lot about controlling and fear. You must do this, or you can't. You do this and you don't do that. You do this, do that. But the reason I think it's never worked as well is it doesn't matter what you do. Even mass murderers and rapists on their deathbed, I need confession before I die, because then I'll be forgiven my sins. Well, then, if that's as easy as that,
it doesn't. But does that happen? We don't know, do we?
Well, no, it don't. But if you believe it does. That's your life. That's your life. If you don't matter if it happens or not, if you believe it happens, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's. I'm not saying obviously the Bible isn't all and the end all. That's not what I'm saying. But I do believe the Bible was written, because we follow, the things that we are taught at school, the little pinnacles of life that we do, We do follow the principles of life, and they're there. Do you know what I mean? Help people. Doesn't help people.
But there's other religions, isn't there? We don't all follow all the cultures of this world don't follow the Bible.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's religion. They've all got their own book of rules. Wherever you see whatever you see in whatever religion that you follow, you've all got your book of rules. And the Bible is written in a way of cryptic messages, which I think unleashes things that come deeper down the line of the truth behind it. I think it drops the truth into it, and I think they leave the truth into it. We read the Bible, and I touch on it all the time. It has got Nephilim in it, which is the land of the giants. It tells us the giants who lived here. There was another species of human or extraterrestrial that lived upon this earth, but they're telling us that doesn't exist. We have skulls that was taken to the Jeffersonian that were bigger than human skull, but it gets taken away because it doesn't fit the narrative of what we are being taught and where we may be. And it's going back to my question, not my question, but it goes back to that where we, the spiritual side of things is what we are coming from and how we were made or born, what we called born and conceived. How was the first one in that, we're talking about Adam and Eve. We're told about Adam and Eve, just two people that appeared from nowhere, which it could be, could be right. It could have been two alien species that have just made something that's come to life, and Adam and Eve could be 100% right. Yeah, and they could have just been two people that appeared. But as you say, he made them. Who made them? We are told God, Jesus, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't believe in all the Bible, but I believe parts of the Bible. And there's 100%. There's quite a lot that I believe. But no, I'm not saying that. Do I believe in God? I do believe in God. Yeah, I do believe there's a God. I believe there's a creator. I believe there's a higher force that
Absolutely.
And whether we're going to meet him, her at the end of it, or whatever it is, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you when it comes to that. I say I've always said I'm a strong believer. I use the word God because of the terminology that I associate with the word God is a creator, is something that is a higher power.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in the word God and the biblical sense of God. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't, I do believe in a higher force. What that higher force is, for all intents and purposes, it could be an alien force that still is present there today, that still lives outside this universe, that created us and still has a life form. Maybe, not saying it is, sounds cuckoo, I know, but that could still be a sense of the higher power to be, whatever that is, because we believe in it. We talk to that higher power. And I believe that higher power that my spiritual side talks to, and I get my information when I do my readings, when we do our ghost hunts, is coming from something that we don't know, a higher, not the creator directly itself, but I do believe that creators something has the ability to join that something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes sense, but then on the other side, I will look at it and say, are we just not just using when you're doing your readings, when we're spiritual connecting, have we not adapted our brains to use the extra 3% to be able to connect to that wavelength, for that waveband to speak to people?
Yeah. Yeah, but I still think there has to be something from the other side as well.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that connection is, for all intents and purposes, when we say heaven and hell, I just believe, like, for all intents and purposes, I believe I'm just connecting to heaven. For to lightly just put it down to, without going too deep into it, I just feel it's the heaven where you go when you die. You know, we're told we go to heaven when we die. You know, how you ever take it, our spirit goes somewhere. So if for all intents and purposes of heaven, I just believe I've just got some form of ability to connect with that frequency over in heaven, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, when you're doing your readings, that might be. But when I speak to some of the people that I've picked up on, I don't think I'm speaking to heaven. I think I'm speaking to hell.
Yeah, but that's your take on it.
Yeah.
That's your take on it. You know, at the end of the day, you're still speaking to heaven or hell.
Yes.
You're still speaking to what we are told in that so-called Bible, or what a belief is, a communication with the other side.
Yeah, but if we take the Bible out of it, what are we speaking to?
The other side.
Yeah.
But we can't take it. It's hard to do that because that's what we're taught. That's what we know. You can't, we're talked about heaven and hell as a loose scenario to it all. Do you know what I mean? What else do you call it apart from the other side?
Good and evil.
Spiritual realm. Hell. Spiritual realm. It doesn't have to be a heaven and hell, does it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It
doesn't have to be heaven or hell.
They could get together in a little happy row boat. For all we know, we don't. We say until we die. It's just one of them. It's just one of them things, isn't it? It's just a really deep conversation. Right.
Oh God, yeah.
Let me go back to some questions. This came in half hour ago. Sorry, Trina. Can I also say I was in a serious car accident when I was 16. My best mate died, and I was told she was alive, but in a different hospital. As I was in a bad way, in fact, in the same hospital as me, 2 wards down. She was on life support as donating her organs, but the early morning of the day they was turning off the machine. I got out of my bed and somehow walked to her bed. I've never been able to explain this as I couldn't move, but the nurses had said to my mum that I went for a walk too. That power, that spiritual energy of power, isn't it? You needed to get there.
Yeah.
Did you, Russ, did you get a link about the lake? No.
Was it about the moat?
I don't know. I haven't seen any link. Don't know where that's gone to.
Danny, where did you send it? Was it email or was it Facebook?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything personally. Carol, when the Bible was written, most people couldn't read. That's true. Russ, I'd be interested in booking a reading with you. How do I do it? If you give us an email at info@essexghosthunters.co.uk, that's info@essexghosthunters.co.uk. It will take you through to our email, and then we'll send you all the information that you need regarding to face-to-face. If it's a Zoom or anything like that, please feel free to contact us at info@essexghosthunters.co.uk. Okay. I tagged you on Facebook. I haven't seen it. Okay. I generally haven't seen it. I don't know where my phone is. It has been beeping away, hasn't it? So
when did you do it?
Yeah, when did you do it?
I'm sure I saw it. I might be going back to the email from Kelly. She told me they were doing a moat or something. You know what I'm like.
Yeah, I'm just going onto my phone now. And I can safely say I haven't been tagged in anything when I literally see previous. No, yeah,
what was it about?
Yeah, the moat. Yeah, no, I haven't definitely haven't seen anything.
I would have taken stand in the dark and think it was something to do with the Lake of Balance House.
Yeah, yeah, the moat. Sorry, Danielle, I don't quite. I can't see the picture, Danielle. So, I take it you was in my group when we did the moat area? Was you in my group this morning? I think it was the moat. It was about. Hey man, that was Kelly. Kelly emailed you about the refurbishment of the moat.
That's it.
Yeah, I haven't definitely got anything this morning. It hasn't come through to me anyway.
No.
I'm looking as I speak on my phone. Yes, I was with Sue. Right, okay. If you can send it another way to info@essexghosthunters.co.uk, info@essexghosthunters.co.uk, maybe send it that way, then we'll definitely pick up on it and then we can see. Because that's quite if Danielle, I remember you being with me, it was quite a horrid story that we got on that one, and it's a bit close to modern day rather than old day that I probably wouldn't be allowed to speak on there, to be honest, because it was quite, I think it was about 90s that we were picking up on it. So, yeah, I'd have to be a bit careful of how we approach that one. But yeah, if you can send it another way or direct message it to me or through Messenger, then I'll be more than happy to pick it up. All right, more than happy to pick it up. All right. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Simon, Paul, you got any questions?
About the Bible side of things?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. No, I think we've discussed it quite often, haven't we? So
yeah, I think we've all got our views, and that's what it's all about. And somebody, I think Carol's put in there, science has sort of taken over now. Yeah, it has. Technology's taken over. Unfortunately, I think the innocence has gone out of the world, but hey, that's another discussion.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. That's yes, exactly. That's why when I saw it this morning, I had to tag you in it. It was very, very odd. Oh, brilliant. If you can get it to me any other way, because it hasn't come through on a tag, Danielle, get it through to me any other way. All right. Add me as a friend on Facebook, and then go from there. All right. And then send it over to us. Right. The question that we should have started about half hour ago.
I think we have sort of covered, but the question I raised last week was mediumship. How do we get answers from the spirit world? Our spirit just there waiting for our questions. So what I'm saying is when we're connecting, and when I connect, why do I connect to these people in places? And why is it not my loved ones coming through? And usually I connect to somebody who's got a story that's got a story to tell.
But go again and slow that down again because my brain didn't comprehend that.
Right. So when we go into mediumship, we ask spirit to come forward. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, we go to a place. It can be a venue, could be mid-Wales, it could be standing on a bridge at Wales, and all of a sudden somebody will come through and I'll connect to them. Yeah? So why do then people there want to connect? Because some of the stories that I get through are pretty horrendous, some of them. So why would somebody want to come and tell me that story? Because if I'd have done something like that, I wouldn't want to be telling it.
Why wouldn't you? If you've done something like that, you want to brag about it. We're different. We're a different ilk. We're not cut from that cloth that they are cut from.
No, but some of them, we're not even going that far back.
Yeah.
So and then if I want to speak to my loved ones, I can't get them. Why?
I don't think there's any. I should think it's more us than them.
Yeah, I think it's more something. It's because it's what you want, not what you need.
Yeah, but do you think that the people? Because it's not very often. I do occasionally get a spirit that's happy and comes in and just wants to pop in and say hello. Yeah, I'm here and I've been here and I'm so and so. But do you think those spirits that have, it's going back a bit, but let's put it back on them. Let's put it back. But let's say those spirits are stuck somewhere because of what they've done. And that's how a medium can connect. Because 9 times out of 10, it is, they've got a story to tell.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Could it be that they're stuck somewhere? And could it be... Huh?
But your loved ones might not have a story.
No, so your loved ones are past.
Yeah, but they can come back anytime I'm not a strong believer in stuckness, obviously, but I get where you're saying. I do get what you're saying. Potentially, that is why that is a theory within the paranormal. I've heard that quite a few times.
I haven't.
I've heard that. Yeah, they get they tell their story because they're stuck here. It's they have to be stuck on this earth plane. I don't see how that's punishment in terminology for me, because some of the spirits I've spoken to have no remorse for what they've done. They quite happily tell me the story. But how I see it is I'm not, for example, I'm not driving all the way to Wales to go and talk to Grandad. You know, I'm going to Wales to see what energies I pick up in Wales.
Yeah.
If I'm going to an event, I'm not there to talk to my loved ones. I'm there to talk to the energies of the house or the location. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's us more than them.
No, probably.
Do you not think that sometimes it's more you're going to the location, you're getting communication from spirit? Doesn't mean it's actually the spirit of the person that was there. It could just be the echoes of its vibration still.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's why it's so hard to get a definitive answer, because although you tapped into that frequency, you're not getting the full story, like, oh, bloody, bloody, blah, this happened. You're asking a question. You're not getting an automatic response all the time. I think sometimes the energy, the way you're tuning in, you're sort of picking through the bits and pieces until you find the information that you need within that energy that's there.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. That's a question I can't answer.
Yeah,
no.
I don't think you will.
I can't answer the question, but it's just a strange one that. Yeah, but then if you say I'm going to Wales to pick up on an energy, and yet there's sometimes when I'm going to places to pick up on an energy that I will get granddad.
Yeah, but maybe that's the time he's come through. Hey guys, hello, Central Texas.
Hi.
NFP TV paranormal podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
That is an absolute mouthful, guys. You know, that's a real NSPC TV paranormal podcasts. How'd you say that, guys? Welcome from us in Essex, all from across the pond, as we'd like to say. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Not quite as nice as Texas.
What's in Texas? What's in Texas that's paranormal, guys? What's the most haunted place in Texas? Let us know what the most haunted place in Texas is.
Yeah, and have you been?
Yeah, and have you been?
Yeah.
Good question. But yeah, I generally don't. I don't think there is any definitive answer to it. But
no,
if you want to, in my eyes, I'd be saying we are the ones for that.
Yeah,
I think we would adjust. You would not. Don't. I'm not saying it how it sounds, but you would need to adjust what you want and how you communicate to get what you want, potentially. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It does, but I'm not. To be quite honest, I'm not really looking for too much for anything. I don't go there to actually. Well, you've seen how I work. I can just sit in a bloody pub and it'll hit me, or I'll be walking down the street and it'll. But so I'm not actually going there to look for it. I'm just going there to have a weekend away.
What we do. That's your job to do. It'd be pointed. No,
what's giving me that job? What's giving me that job?
But you're going to that place and your brain goes, oh my God, this is old. Straight away, it's haunted. Your logic kicks in. It goes, ding, light bulb comes on. It's haunted. They hear you. Oh, wow. The team would like this. If you're with Carol, my team would love to come here. Oh, we should, straight away. You're inviting that energy of that place to come to the aura. That's your job. Your job is to communicate with the dead, however that is foreseen. When you work in the shop, people come into your aura and they say to you, oh, blah, 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 blah. Straight away, you go, well, you've got a lovely man with you. He's saying la, 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 la. You're straight in with that person because that is what your intention is to do. You'd never go, oh, this place is haunted. with someone talking. It's your that energy to energy is what's calling it forward. If you want to speak to your loved ones, you need to be in that loved one's energies, I feel. But
probably, yeah, probably.
Majority of the time, we'll say it's more over half and half. I'd just put like 70% that your communication comes within haunted locations, out and about with the team. But when you are in with the shop, you are then trying to connect with the energies of people that walk in to that location.
Yeah.
Sometimes probably not intentionally as well. It just happens. I think it's more like a radio operator, isn't it? You know, if you've got someone beginning there, they're trying to tune that radio in, and every now and then they'll tap into something, go, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? But if they've been doing it for 10 years, they can just go, wallop, right, I'm there. Wallop, right, I'm there. I'm getting, I know what, you know, they're doing it without even thinking about it because they've been doing it so long. I think it's a similar sort of thing when you're tuning into frequencies. When you're starting out, you're getting people weird left, right, and centre. You don't know what's going on. But the longer you do it, and the more you manage to finally tune that dial, you can just go wallop, wallop, wallop.
Bish, bash, bosh.
Bish, bash, bosh.
Yeah.
And that is generally, I think it's your, not necessarily your intention, but the situation that you are in, which causes you to, and without sounding stupid, but you're going to a prison, yeah? Shepton Mallet prison. You've got a group of guests with you. The last thing that they want you to hear, oh, I've got my great auntie Maud with me, and she said, I'm going to get a new car today. They'd go, what the bloody hell's he going on about? They want to go, right, I've got the craze with me and they're going to kill us. Right, we're in. Do you know?
Yeah, I get that.
I think that's what I say. If you want to do it within Shepton Mallet prison,
I wouldn't want to put my loved ones in Shepton Mallet prison to be quite honest.
No, but you get an example. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you, man.
There's loved ones that would come through to you in that time. You know, granddad maybe for protection, so and so for this and so for that. Just say, look, you're going to be all right, Simon. Just go for it. Don't panic, and they'll be gone. And then you will connect to the spirits of the realm.
Yeah.
Because we all know we all know when Paul runs that, something's bad's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? If Paul's shitting himself, then we've all got to tune in to what Paul's frightened of. But
Paul, I wish you were there Saturday. Never have to do. Paul, I wish you were there Saturday, mate. We had from the start of the evening, there was a woman following us, and she was a slight woman. She was really wiry, dressed in black, yeah. And from every group I had, she would join us. And
really?
This bloke at the end, Dan. Don't know if you had it. You had him in your group.
Oh, I see something about this. Kept tripping people up or something.
It tripped him up, and he couldn't believe it. He even turned around to his missus. He said, "What'd you do that for?" She was miles away. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Wow. So, but is that the same woman? Was it Valence House that people get pushed over and pushed down that set of stairs?
Julie did.
Right. So, is it the same person that's been doing that?
I don't know. All I know, she died in 1914 or whoever she was. So it weren't going that far back, but she controlled the place. She controlled. Yeah. But we had and it made the rope REM pod went off. She made the rope in the cellar. Yeah.
Wow.
Which was perfect. Brilliant.
Love it. The one that was really active was the lamp one. That was really going on command in our last group.
Really?
The lamp. We've got an old oil lamp, like an oil lamp looking one.
Oh, right.
And they loved that. The spirits, whatever you want to call it, the ghosts, whatever you want to call it, absolutely
whatever they are.
Yeah, whoever they
are. That could come across like a bit of a trigger object. Then, you know, if they're sort of like late 1800s, early 1900s, an oil lamp's going to look familiar anyway, isn't it?
Very familiar.
Rather than these new fandangled gadgets we've got about.
Yeah, very familiar.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Absolutely, does it make sense? Absolutely. No, it was a very interesting night. Very, very interesting night. And speaking of an interesting night, Kelly wants us to go to the Isle of Wight in May. To go to the Isle of Wight.
Love the Isle of Wight.
I say we've never. To be fair, I don't know why, but we always tend to go north. We always tend to go north on ghost hunts. Very rarely do we go south. Very rarely. Very, very rarely. We've probably been a couple of times. We've been to Fort Widley, Warrior.
You done that Shire.
We did another
Doncaster, didn't you? Do you remember I went there first on my holidays?
That's Shire Hall.
Shire Hall, Dorchester. That's it.
So I'd probably count about 3, 4 at a push. But very rarely do we go south. It tends to be north, you know, up into Norfolk, up into sort of the Midlands, as high as, you know, like East Drive.
Yeah, Yorkshire.
Exactly. And, you know, Shepton, that's
Shepton,
south.
Yeah.
That should be south. Class is south.
Yeah, it's
real way, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Shrewsbury. But very rarely do you go to the south down there, and there's probably loads down there.
Right, there's so much. We think even the New Forest. I bet there's some great locations in the New Forest to sort of camp. Well, imagine that, camping out there.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Wouldn't it?
Absolutely brilliant.
I have to do glamping now, Paul, not camping. Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, mate.
Glamping. Glamping.
I like my bed. I don't like them little beds.
I like my fishing bed. I can stay on my fishing beds. Have you been anywhere at Great Dunmow? Where is the White Webs not White Web Museum? The windmill. That was around.
Sandon Mill?
No. The mill, the windmill. It's somewhere over there, didn't we? Hadley. Don't think that's too far on from Great Dunmow. Hadley Field.
Is Gracie's Lane there?
Who?
Gracie's Lane.
I don't know. I can't remember Gracie's Lane.
Where you drove down the track to, and we got chased by the bloody farmer. I can drive down here. Yeah, I'm all right. Next one we know there's a farmer chasing us. That's right.
Could be. I think that, it could be that way, maybe.
Great Dunmow. There was a church there. It's a great big church here, I'm sure. Great Dunmow.
Yeah, I don't know. I know we did a windmill near there. But I don't know what windmill it was called. Remember?
Yeah.
I
do remember.
Is it the John Webb?
Yeah, I do remember. And no toilets.
Yeah, that was it.
That's what he remembers.
I'm sure it was something like John Webb windmill or something like that.
Give us some places around there, Robert, and we can probably tell you a bit more because I'm sure we have. We must have been in Essex, sir. Good night, Heidi.
Good night, Heidi. Take care.
Good night, Heidi.
See you soon, Heidi. Go, come on with us. Nearly every pub is haunted. It really is so much paranormal activity. Great. Done there's near Braintree. Well, we've done the Braintree Museum.
The museum. Yeah, there you go.
We've done the Braintree Museum. That was a good place, actually.
Yeah,
that was a good place.
That was a little gem. That place.
Yeah, absolutely was it?
Because it was a place you wouldn't think you're going to get anything, and boy, it produced that night.
Yeah, it did. It was all one level.
Yeah.
From my car got break, wasn't it?
That's it. When they try to do your car there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Car.
Thaxted, that was probably it. Yeah, Thaxted windmill.
Thaxted, yeah, it could be. Is that anywhere near there?
Yeah, I think so, mate.
Is that anywhere near you, Robert? Yeah, yeah, but other than that, no, I can't remember. Thing is, we've been to so many places, sometimes on like little nights out. That
that's where we did that. We have been there. We did a house visit there.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
fireman.
Yeah,
the fireman.
That's it. I remember that. Yeah, and then we parked up by a little pond, and there was an old jowl on the street. If you remember, that's right. It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, fair play for your memory, guys. That's impressive.
Simon's memory, yeah.
You got there.
Right, is there any more questions, guys? We're coming towards the end of the show, so it's time to get your questions in. If you've got any questions that you want to ask us or anything like that, the Thaxted windmill was a weird one. That was.
It was. I think it's just reopened. I think it closed, but I think it's reopened now. So I think somebody wants to come and do it.
Yeah, that one I don't remember. But yeah. Any questions, guys? Get them in, because we are coming towards the end of the show. Hope you've enjoyed it. You guys enjoyed it? Nice talking to you, as of usual. Yes,
that's it. Yes. Strange things you remember. Yeah, it was.
I remember a pond. I do. I think we're going to get any questions in, guys. You got any more? Can anyone give us a 5-minute question?
Oh,
look at that. See? One thing we should say, to be fair, that we've had 2 quite famous people die over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne that left us, and then Hulk Hogan left us today.
Hulk Hogan, man. I thought that guy was going to live forever. He didn't seem to look any older. Granted, I haven't seen any recent pictures of him, but what a man that was.
Well, he's been quite ill for it just made, the last time I saw him was on the stage with Donald Trump ripping his t-shirt off.
Yeah, but he looked quite well there, didn't he?
I'm assuming he was on steroids at a young age. It definitely wasn't his fight.
God knows, and God knows what Ozzy Osbourne was on at that. But I think it was very fitting what he did 2 weeks ago, Ozzy Osbourne.
He done the stage.
He knew. Wouldn't you say he knew? Yeah.
He must have known.
I see a clip when he was on the stage and he said, my doctors told me I shouldn't do this. And then he just went, has anyone got any drugs? I think he's brilliant. He's going to be missed. I feel sorry for his kids, to be fair, although I'm assuming it was kind of expected. But yeah, I like his kids. I think they've done really well, especially Jack.
I can't stand him.
Can you not? I think he's great.
Sandra loves him.
Yeah, I know. I think When you see him on the early show, the Osbournes, like, you know, he come across as like a right sport little brat, all the pair of them like shouting and screaming at each other. But when you see him now, I've got quite a bit of respect for the man. I think he's done really well for himself.
No, fair play. I say fair play to them all. They've all made a nice living out of that, and you know, I just hope they respect his legacy.
Yeah.
He was a one of a kind, and he was absolutely one of the kind. Do you know what I mean? You never get that sort of person again. You know, we have these people that come into this world that are just very unique and very different. And look, at the end of the day, he was famous. He had to be different. He had to stand out from the crowd. But there was just something very, very special about Ozzy Osbourne. He had that charisma. He had that sense of humor that not too many people got.
Yeah.
He had a very, very unique sense of humor that people thought he was an idiot, but he knew what he was doing.
He was far from it. He was far from an idiot.
You know, he definitely knew what he was doing. You know, he skipped death once, didn't he, with the quad bike accident?
Mm.
You know, he probably skipped another one because he chewed a bat's head off, didn't he, on stage?
God, yeah.
So-called bat's head.
Well, they reckon it wasn't, but
yeah, of course it was.
But it was probably no different to Freddie Starr and the Amster, was it? You know, who will be looking after the pigs?
It was pigs.
Huh? I think he had pigs.
Oh, did he?
I think so. I think that's what Matt.
He's probably left them to Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon. Who's nicked my beer?
Yeah.
But no, people. But as you say, I looked. War Pigs. I think it's a song, isn't it? War Pig.
Hmm.
I'm lost, Matt. You've lost me. But the fact of he did what he did, less than 2 weeks ago? Is it less than 2 weeks ago? And
yeah,
for what he did and how he did that, you know, very, very well played to him. Very, very strong character. And when you talk about, I watched parts of that concert, and there would be no way someone would have said to me that he will be dead in 2 weeks' time watching that.
Oh,
no.
It was almost like that was his energy, and that's what he had to. That put his mind at peace to let him know that that's what he would do, and he did it, and that let his soul, spirit pass.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. Farewell.
Yeah.
You know, I just find it. I just find that very. See, things like that throw my mind. It's an Aussie song.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what, you know, throws my mind out. 1 week you see him like that, and yeah, don't get me wrong, he didn't look the greatest, but he didn't look on death's door, did he? He didn't look on death's door. Yes, I probably had makeup, but I've seen him worse in Meet the Osbournes all them years ago than he looked on that stage.
Yeah.
But no, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. And let's hope it doesn't come in freeze and no one else.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Arses. Yeah.
They say it comes in freeze, don't they? But let's hope it doesn't. Someone breaks it. Right. That's it, guys. We are going to say good night and good bless. Paul, you have a most wonderful holiday.
I shall do. Down Dorset, mate. Down south.
I'll find some places down there. Take the missus around some haunted places for us.
She picks up more than I do down there, mate.
You're on you've got to be on location watch then for that one.
Yeah.
All sitting down there.
Oh, tank museum, mate, get in there.
But can we get in the tanks though? Is it
some of them you can.
Is it big enough to run an event?
Oh, it's massive. It's huge, this place.
Oh well.
Some of them are still working, they do shows with them.
Will you be going to the tank museum?
I believe we are, because we're leaving the dog behind this time.
There you go.
The last time he was in there, a little child grabbed my wife by the hand. She thought he was one of my nephews. Yeah. Honestly, she picks up more than I do down there.
Right.
That was me.
Your taxi's in. Yeah.
Taxi for Paul.
He's on his way. He's right out the door before we've even spoke about it. That's it. He's famous. That's how famous he is. He leaves the studio for his taxi to straight on holiday. Right, guys, take care, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you all.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.